Hey everyone, this is a random solo shuffle with my newly geared Affliction. He's still pretty low, but I wanted to show some gameplay through my eyes. The rating's real low, it's like 1,000 right now. I listened to the advice that a lot of people graciously told me on Reddit and some comments on my last video with my resto about changing my UI, so that's what I did here. I'm trying out S-Arena and Omnibar. And to be honest, right now I'm probably not even playing as well as I used to prior to all the add-ons because it's pretty overwhelming, but I see a lot of potential once I get used to looking on the screen where I need to and getting the information. I can see the point of using this. So anyway, I'm going to try to articulate what I'm doing, my thought process. Right now as an Affliction, I'm just dotting everything up. I see the enemy Destro, and I'm trying to get him out of the picture so he doesn't free cast, especially on these lower elos. People aren't very good at interrupting or focusing off these high cast damage like Elisham or Destro. Okay, so he's dotted up. I'm live training him. So I'm trying to continue up on the dotting, but he's line of sighting pretty well, and they're shooting out some CC and some fear. I don't think we really have a focused target right now. Yeah, it's madness in these lower elos. It's just confusing. I got the Omnibar to try to figure out kicks, and you'll see, I think in this battle, maybe a different one. I'm trying to fake cast to get him to trigger a kick on me, but he just never does, so it didn't really help. But first victory, managed to drain life down the lock with a lot of dots on him, which is nice. This is the second match. We get the DK and still against that lock. Similar strategy. I don't really know how the Evoker class works, how they heal. Yeah, it's just a black box. It's a mystery to me. After this match, I actually tried to set up some keybinds and hotkeys for spell lock on Arena target 1, 2, 3 to make it easier. But right now, I just have it whoever I'm focusing, and it's my Y. Spell shield saved me right there. Getting dropped by Chaos Bolt. This lock actually, Virusius later DM'd me afterwards and talked to me a bit. He's a really nice guy. He's talking about how he didn't like being trained, being a warlock, and I can sympathize with that. That Resto Druid did a lot of things that I did when I first started playing Resto, and you'll see later on that he panics a little bit. So I felt bad for him too. Just dotting up right now. It's really cool how I can just spread damage in this class. It's really nice.
It's also crazy how that druid in the back is getting his tranquility nullified with my dots.
The Qs in solo shuffle sort of suck. That's one thing I don't like. I was in one Q for about 30 minutes before it popped. I don't really know how they're going to fix that, but that's not as much fun as my resto. I also, when I'm playing my resto, I keep the same setup, but I move my party bars over to mirror my S-Arena bars. But as a lock, I don't have to watch my allies' health as much, so I have them over in the corner. It makes it much easier for me to see the screen. Something that I've seen on different guides, oh look at that, those Chaos Bolts, my goodness. Something I've seen on different guides is that I should take Grimoire of Sacrifice and sack my pet. I'm not really sure because the damage given from Grimoire is pretty low. And I like my pet. He's pretty cool. So I haven't taken that ability. It's also nice on these types of battles. I find that being an Affliction is really cool to play against other casters. I have different ways to survive. We won that one too. It's not fun to play against like double warrior or warrior DH. That still is very unpleasant to play as. I really only have 3 defenses: my health stone, my dark pact, and my whatever my 0 is. I forgot what it's called. And once those are gone, I'm a sitting duck. Oh, and my teleporters. Yeah. I fumbled here a little bit. I took the wrong portal, and it threw me right into enemy territory here. He's just railing on me a little bit, but the healer's doing a good job at keeping me alive.
I didn't really need to use my defensive here, but I wanted to be able to cast, so I go ahead and pop it so I don't get disrupted. Even though he threw it in a disorient, that did disrupt it temporarily.
They overlapped locks right there. Finally get a soul rod off. That's a really cool skill. Back in Cataclysm when I first played, that was definitely not in the game. Not sure what that bubble does when trying to get him out of it. Probably should have asked. There we go. I got out. Soul swap is also one of my favorite things about Warlocks. I borrowed some Maldivas. Ooh. Almost got dropped there.
Borrowed some Maldivas macros so that Soul Burn can be combined and power up the skills that I use often. For a DPS like this DK gets on me, it makes me want to take the Essence Drain skill instead of Nether Ward just so that I can gimp their power down a little bit. But for the time being, I use Soul Rod just to get more health back. Also, I think it really helps that this DK was very undergeared. I know his health is pretty low, and I don't think he was doing his rotation right. I'm not really familiar with the melee class, but it must be frustrating for this guy that I'm just running around and porting, and then he has to figure out where I went because there's all this stuff going on the screen, and then just take another port. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, but I guess he has Death Grip for that.
They eventually gave up on me and they decided to go on the other lock and the healer, which is nice. That way I can CC a little bit and spread dots more easily. I feel like it's sort of a lose-lose in this situation who you target. You either target the high-bursting Destro or the annoying Afflock. While the enemy DK is dying, me and this little Ellie Sham are having a face-off in our own little world, trying to get fears and hexes off. But it worked in our favor. Yeah, I actually don't even... I can't take responsibility for that one. The Destro must have finished off the DK. Something else I've noticed in solo is that a lot of people are really friendly. It could be because, again, I'm in the much lower elo division, but there's really not much negativity. It's really cool. I should have fell locked that immediately. Delayed quite a bit.
I spread dots on that Destro lock, and then I get to pull them off and pop over the hill and CC that, or spread to the healer rather, then try to CC with Shadow Fury. I accidentally put Enhanced Slow on that lock instead of Enhanced Silence, and then he gets his dot removed, so sort of puts us back.
This one's actually getting pretty low. Our DK's getting pretty low. And we're up against the enemy lock again. I think at this point, or pretty soon, I realize I have to get him CC'd or he's just going to keep nuking the team. Wind Shear is incredibly annoying. That's an amazing interrupt that shamans have. Fearing the heals, building up the dots. I've heard some people don't really like using Haunt. I like it. I like that it gives some health back and some damage application. The cast time's a little bit annoying, but it's a pretty cool skill. I also really like when Soul Rot hit multiple target and you become a raid boss and just heal for days. I'm not sure if whenever you have a enemy tipped off or topped off with dots, if you're supposed to start spamming Malefic Rupture or if you're supposed to Soul Drain or not. I switch back and forth. Ooh, they almost dropped my DK there. But again, that lock is just free casting, so I'm trying to put a fear on him to stop that. Destro locks are just such disgusting damage. Inevitably, whenever the season goes on, every expansion, I'll flip-flop between Destro and Affliction, but right now I don't feel like learning a new spec. Just spreading dots. Ooh, my healer's getting low and so is my DK. I tried to foolishly spell lock that, but I can't. Healer's at like 5% health right now, but he's living like a champ. I probably should have stopped and feared a little bit more at that point, but I probably won't start watching my teammates' health. Their enemy healer's getting pretty low though. I'm trying to finish him off with a Drain Soul. Just not dropping. By the way, if anyone knows how to get rid of the actual detailed health bars on the S Arena add-on on the enemies and just turn that into like a old school arena frame where it's just a green bar. Oh gosh, my healer gets really, really low here. I spell lock that. And I think I kill the lock in a second. Yep. Barely. Oh, then again, we almost killed their Ellie Sham too at the same time. That was a close match. Yeah, but anyway, I don't really need the data. I don't really need to see there's 441k health and 405k. It's just extra numbers, and my brain doesn't really need to look at. So if anyone has a way to get rid of that, that'd be awesome. Or a different add-on that just doesn't show that in general. Running around the DK. He did a good job at scaring me off there. Then I get to set up dots on him. And transfer all the dots to them. I try to get that resto. See, the resto gets nuked to half health because he's dispelling like crazy. I get to put a lot of pressure on him, and he's over in the corner as a bear. Tried to silence him, but it looks like the Fell Hunter was out of range of sight. I can see how that might be one argument for using Grimoire of Sacrifice, just so that you don't have to get your pet in line of sight to utilize the command ability. I can definitely see how that would be a good thing to have. If I'm not mistaken too, whenever you're stunned, the command ability won't go off, but I could be wrong about that. I think this is the match, if I'm not mistaken, when the enemy druid starts panicking. His health starts getting low and he sort of just freezes up. I'll point it out if it happens, but I've been there. I've totally been there. Yeah, this is it. He goes into the corner and just sort of is away from his team, and he's just trying to frantically heal up, but makes a mistake of dispelling with penalty dots on him. I don't really know what he's doing in this position. And it looks like the enemy DK sees that I'm harassing his healer and sends in the zombie, but then he's like, on second thought, I'm just going to leave him alone. Oh, maybe I'll hit him a little bit more. Like, he probably should have left bear form by now and really started hodding up, because he's dropping low, and the rest of his teammates are dropping low too now. But looking at that damage meter at the bottom, that's another app that I just got. You'll see that I cut to the next match, but the previous match, the Destro Lock is still topping the charts on damage. Still doing a good job. I accidentally just soul swapped onto a dead thing. That didn't really help my cause too much there. I really like too that Soul Rot's on a different spell pool, and that my middle button that I press, I'm gonna look up that name. Rapid Contagion. That's it. Yeah, Rapid Contagion is an awesome skill. Takes 3 soul shards, but I can press it. I have a hotkey to my middle mouse button. It's on a short enough cooldown where I can use it pretty often. I'm probably not using it perfectly, but I try to use it once I have 2 more targets dotted with 2 or 3 dots. That's when I try to pop it just to accelerate damage. But anyway, it's really cool how you can use that even if you're rooted or silenced or stunned or whatever. It still goes through. Just kiting the DK around. This poor guy, man, he's chasing me match after match. He's got Death Grip, and he has those icy chains, but that's about it. I actually don't know what spec. Oh, he's Unholy. He's Unholy. Getting a little bit low here on my Destro Lock. Even though the DK's on me. See, if they would have probably focused on him, he probably would have been a goner, but they're splitting damage, and I'm able to stave off and drain a little bit. I know it's really important to keep Agony up on as many targets as possible for Soul Shard regeneration, and I didn't really do a good job of that this game because I'm just trying to stay alive, but yeah, for future games I need to just tab over and press 7 on everything. Also utilize number 5 more to get health back. A lot of these matches were really scraping the barrel, trying to get the healer away. That one, that was the one loss of this set. I wanted to show this set too. You see the end here, our matchmaking value was pretty low. I got 472 points from that. That's insane. Anyway, this was just a random solo shuffle that I happened to do pretty well on. I'm still very fresh on my lock, and thanks everyone for watching. If you have any other feedback, like you did with Arresto, that was great. I really took a lot of that to heart and trying to use that. But if not, hope you enjoyed it.